Hi ladies, how are you all? I hope you're doing really well and keeping healthy. So I'm here with another recipe this week, and this week I thought I'd do something very traditional. This week we'll be making, as you can see, we're making Pani Puri. Now, if you're not aware what Pani Puri is, it's a very famous snack in the Asian continent. It's basically these round little puff balls, and you fill them up with a mixture of chickpea and potato, and then you dip them in a tamarind and jaggery water, and it's like a really nice tasty snack. I won't be able to fully explain to you what it is until I start making it, and by this time I'm going to be sending you some pictures as well, so you get a good idea what Pani Puri is. And it's a really tasty snack. All the ingredients are really widely available. You can buy them from Asian supermarkets, from or from the local supermarkets like Asda and Tesco. If you go in the world food aisle, they have a few different names. So in Pakistan, they're known as Pani Puri. In India, they're known as Golgappe. It's more of a funny name. It's a cool name for it. So there's different variations of how to make this as well. But I'm going to show you a very basic and simple recipe that anyone can make at home. Now, you can make these Pani Puris at home with completely raw ingredients. You'll have to make a dough of flour and semolina. That's a really long process, but nowadays you get these ready-made puris that you just need to fry, and they puff into really crispy round balls. If you were to make them from home, it would just take a bit more time. Obviously the taste will be completely different because they will be so nice and fresh, but these are halfway there because you're going to be frying them at home. You can buy ready-made ones, but they have these added preservatives in them, and that's why they're on the shelves for a good few days, and by the time you do bring them home, they taste a bit stale and don't have that much of a crunch in them. Whereas if you buy these ones and fry them at home, they're much more tastier. And if you can make them from home from scratch, that's really good. I can make them from home as well, but it's just a very long procedure. For many years I've just been going for the ready-made alternative. Right, so these we're going to fry, and if you're thinking, okay, well that's not really healthy, but we're going to fry them. They're going to puff into these crispy balls. They hardly contain any oil because they're so thin. They're almost like, crisps, but very even thinner than crisps. And the rest of the ingredients is really just got chickpeas and potato and a few other spices, and then we're going to have the water to go with it, which I'll show you along. So it's actually a nice, I would say it's a nice healthy snack to have instead of having like samosas and pakoras when you come to the Asian kind of snacks. This is a really healthy, but it's also fun. If you have a big family, or just even a few people on the dinner table, having these is just so much fun. It gets everybody interactive, and it gets everybody enjoying themselves. So first of all, we're going to start with the filling. Now for the filling here, we've got some potato which I pre-boiled, and I'm just going to mash the potato up. Now you can like cut these in small kind of really tiny cubes, but I just find it so easier just to mash it up. And then I'm going to add like the chickpeas in here, and I'm going to slightly mash it up as well, and it will just be really easy to kind of put this filling in our crispy puris. So I call them puris, you can call them crispy balls. Literally the ingredients is just semolina and flour. Some are made with just 100% semolina, and some are made with just wheat flour. And if you wanted to, you could make 100% wheat flour puris as well at home if you preferred. But for me, there's not much. I mean, the puris are so crispy, they're so tiny, that there's not much harm, I would say, in having these. Sometimes you just want to go for something that's just a bit fun as well as being tasty and healthy. And we've got the fiber with the chickpeas in here, we've got the crunch of the onions, and we've got spices. And you can swap the potatoes with with sweet potatoes if you like, but this is the traditional recipe. Well, this is the basic traditional recipe. If you are experts in this, or people who are experts in this, they will have different alterations of making, but I'm just telling you, as a beginner, if you are a beginner, then this is all basic ingredients you will need. Right, so we've got the potato here, and now I'm going to cut an onion. Now some people will be against putting an onion in the Pani Puri mixture. I prefer it. I'm just going to get a knife. I prefer putting onion because I think it adds a really nice crispy kind of crunch, and yeah. you know, and you can put coriander and green chilies, but again, I'm just showing you a very basic, so I'm not going to add the coriander and green chilies, but if you wanted to, you can. I had someone coming to my house. I had like a party like a few months ago, and I made loads of these, and I made a really, really big filling. And you will not believe, we had like a debate of what the filling should be. Some people were like, no, you have to put coriander and onions and green chilies. And some were like, no, traditional Pani Puris don't have any onions or don't have any coriander. So you know what, it's entirely up to you. I believe that, you know, you don't have to stick to the recipe. If you like certain things, you can keep them, and if you don't like them, you can, you know, replace them with something else. It's entirely up to you. Be creative and try new things as well. So cut the potato really, really fine, because the balls are going to be around about this size, so the filling needs to go inside them. And if your onions are big, then they're not going to fit inside the balls, or they will take up too much space and they kind of fall out. Okay. Right. So my son, my youngest son, he's only 7 years old. But since he was like 4 years old, he's loved Pani Puris, and we make them quite, I mean, we like them spicy, and I'm surprised that at that young age he actually loves spicy food. And if he finds out I'm making Pani Puri at home, he'll just go crazy. Like, he's in the living room right now, and I haven't told him that I'm doing Pani Puri for my class. If I did tell him, he would be in the kitchen right now. That's how much he loves them. And he would even ask me to pack them for his packed lunch, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you take them for packed lunch. It's too messy to take for packed lunch. Something to have at home, enjoy with your family. Right, so I'm going to add the onions and the mashed potato. Right, that's literally most of our, nearly all of our cutting done. And now this is the main ingredient, which is chickpeas. Now again, there's a debate whether to use normal chickpeas or black chickpeas. So I usually add both of them, but in this one, again, because I'm making a very basic recipe for you guys, just in case some of you are not aware, and black chickpeas, some of you might not have come across them, so I'm just going to use normal chickpeas. And so make sure that you wash them and drain them, and yeah, I'll do that now. Right, so I've taken out the excess liquid of the chickpeas, and I'm just kind of giving them a wash. You can see that with kind of bubbles. Now, before I give it a mix, I'm just gonna kind of crush the chickpeas a little bit. I usually do it with my hand, but I don't want to put you guys off, so I'm going to do it with a fork. Right. Now what I've done is I've mashed half of the chickpeas and left half of them as whole, because like I mentioned before, this is going to be the filling for the balls. So we need to make sure that you have some big pieces, some small pieces, so it's just easy to kind of go in. Alright, before we give this a further mix, I'm going to add some black pepper. Now again, there are some traditional spices to add in here. One is called chaat masala, which some of you probably already know. Chaat masala, it's a blend of like fennel seeds and black pepper, red chili powder, pink salt, and there's another one, I can't remember the name, it's zira, I can't remember the name, fennel seeds, yeah. So I'm going to add that. Now again, if you guys don't know what this is, you can message me privately and I'll give you the ingredients for this. It's very simple, or you can buy this ready-made as well from Asian supermarkets. So I'm just going to add like half a spoon of this in, and if you don't have this chaat masala, that's again not necessary. It's just to give it that traditional Asian kind of taste that goes along with the Pani Puri. Now we're going to give this a good mix. These ingredients are just so easy to find because there's so many of us around, there's so many Asians around, that Asian ingredients has to be available. And thank God to our supermarkets like Asda and Tesco, they have made a whole aisle for, you know, Asian, African, Chinese, all different types of cuisines. So it's just so easy for us to find what we need. All right, that's the filling done. And now what we're going to do, put on the side. Now what we're going to do is that we are going to fry our puris. So these are going to go in hot oil for literally seconds. They're going to go in hot oil for literally seconds, and we're just going to make sure that you have a frying spoon that you can keep moving them around, because they need to be cooked from all the way around. But for that, in order to do that, you need to make sure you're moving them around. So they should be in there for 30 seconds, and you'll see the magic, how something like this, how something as small as this is going to turn so big within seconds. Now I'm going to empty out the bag and put it in the hot oil, and you'll see within seconds how they're going to change in shape and size. There we go, and make sure you keep moving around. Can you see how quickly they're changing in size? Now some of them are going to be flat. They're just unfortunately going to be like ugly ducklings. They're not going to expand. You could just call them defaulted puris. But most of them are going to become really big in size. And if you can see what I meant, they're going to be so crispy because of their size. And so really you don't need to worry about how much oil they contain, or them being unhealthy or anything like that. They look amazing, don't they? Right, here we go. So here are our fried puris. So they become from this to this. Look, they're so hot right now. It will take a few seconds to cool down. So we have our puris done, we have our filling done, and now we're going to be making our water, the kind of liquid that you dip them in. So for that, the main ingredients you'll need is tamarind sauce, or this is concentrated tamarind. You can use fresh tamarind as well. In fact, that's going to be the better option, but as we don't have that right now, and maybe it'll be difficult for you to find as well, although most supermarkets do have them, I'm just going to show you the kind of concentrated tamarind paste that you will be able to find everywhere. And then also we're going to be using this is palm sugar. So this is like the original form of palm sugar once it's kind of sucked out of the palm, out of the sugar cane. Right, so what we need to do is, first of all, we're going to get a pan, and we're going to add some of the palm sugar in hot water, and we're going to melt this, and that's going to be kind of the base of our sugar syrup, well, tamarind sugar syrup. So what I've done here, I've added a small piece of this palm sugar in a little bit of hot water. So this is like hot water from the kettle, and we're going to melt this, but just keep pushing a little bit, putting a little pressure in it. And first we're going to make a concentrated paste, and then we're going to add some more water in it to make it like a liquidy. Right, so once most of your sugar, your brown sugar has been melted, if you can't get palm sugar, you can get brown sugar as well. It's just not going to give that authentic taste, like I said. Again, this is so widely available. It's not just used in the Asian cuisine, it's used a lot in the African cuisine as well. So that's why it'll be more of a reason to find this. And now we're going to add some of the tamarind sauce. Can you see how dark and how black this is? This is because it's literally just squeezed out of fresh tamarinds. So we're going to add 1 spoon, that's not a full spoon, we're going to add 1 spoon of the tamarind paste. This is like the key ingredient to this. Again, if you can use fresh tamarind, that's even better. All you need to do is just soak it in hot water for a few hours, and then drain it and use that concentrated paste. Once this is all mixed really, really well, we're going to add some pink salt. Pink salt, or this is called black salt actually. So this is one step ahead of pink salt. If you can't get black salt, you can use pink salt. Black salt is just a very, very, very strong taste of salt. But we're going to add 1 small pinch in it, and that's just going to help kind of bind the sugar and the tamarind together and give it that very soury taste, but yet it's gonna be a really, really good blend with the sweetness. So you know, sometimes when you're cooking something savory, if you add some salt to it, it actually helps balance the flavors and neutralize the flavors, and that's what the black salt is doing in this case. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add some water in here. So I've just got some lukewarm water from the tap. Make sure it's not cold, make sure it's not hot, it's just lukewarm. And that is our tamarind sauce done. And I'm going to drizzle this with a little bit of the chaat masala. Again, it's just a preferable taste. You don't want to use chaat masala, you don't have to. So you see how basic this was, and this is how basic it was, and it's going to be such a fun, tasty snack to have with the family. So how do we put this together? How do we assemble it? So let me just show you. This is going to be fun. Right. So you get one of these balls, and you're going to just get the tip of the tip of your spoon. I mean, we just do it with our hands, right? Put some filling in. So I like to stuff mine with a lot of filling, and then you're going to dip it in your water. And then you're just going to eat it, and this is, you can hear my crunch. Oh, that was so yummy. That was so tasty. That just took me back home. When we were kids, my mum used to make this after school on Fridays, and the whole family would sit down together, and me and my sisters would actually have a competition. So it's like a funny tradition back home that when families get together, they actually have a Pani Puri or Golgappa competition of who can eat the most. So it's actually quite a fun thing, and you know, you can add all sorts of things you like in the filling. So here I have some homemade mint sauce, mint chutney, and again this is just mint, fresh mint, coriander and green chillies. And again, that's one of the things that we put in the filling as well, alongside yogurt. But this is a very basic ingredient, basic version. It's so fun, it's so tasty, it's so easy to make. We literally, this video is how many, 15 minutes long or 60 minutes long, and that's how long it took to make this. So yeah, so do go ahead and try this at home if you haven't already. All the ingredients is so widely available. You can buy the Pani Puri from Asian shops. You can buy it from any Asian supermarkets. The potatoes and the chickpeas and the onions you can get from anywhere, or you probably already have at home anyway. And then the palm sugar and the tamarind sauce are also very easy to find. So there's nothing really here apart from the spices that you might struggle with to buy. So yeah, enjoy it at home. It's a cost-effective way to enjoy a snack at home. If you were to go to a restaurant and buy this, just six of these puris with the filling and the sauce will cost about £5-6, and 6 of these puris are hardly enough for one person. So you can imagine how much money you're saving if you make it at home, and it's really fun. And if you're going to be using fresh tamarind, then tamarind is really good for your digestive system, really good. It's good for the heart, it's good for the guts, it's good for the liver, and you will notice a difference when you eat fresh tamarind. You will burp a lot, and it will just help you kind of release lots of gases, unwanted gases in the body. And if you make this with, if you serve it with fresh mint chutney, mint, you know how good mint is for the body. It's very good to detox the body. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and do try this at home, and I hope you do enjoy it. And I'm going to send you some pictures of how we enjoy Pani Puri at home. Alright guys, take care. I'll see you next week.